Every moment carries a lesson, a sign, or an opportunity that we often overlook. We walk through our days preoccupied with worries, distractions, and routines, rarely stopping to notice the subtle messages Allah places in our path. Sometimes it is a coincidence that leads to clarity, other times it is a challenge that pushes us toward growth, and often it is a moment of quiet reflection that opens the heart to understanding. These signs are not accidental. They are whispers from Allah, reminders that He is guiding us, protecting us, and preparing us for something greater. The first step in transforming our lives is learning to recognize these signs and understanding their significance. The believer who pays attention does not take life for granted, but sees every encounter, every challenge, and every blessing as an opportunity to draw closer to Allah and align their life with His guidance. Self-reflection is crucial once we notice these signs. It is not enough to simply see, we must also act. How often do we hear a call to change and ignore it? How many times do we receive guidance in subtle forms and continue in the same patterns? The Quran reminds us, indeed, Allah will not change the condition of a people until they change what is in themselves. Surah Ar-Ra'd 13:11. Transformation begins internally, in the choices we make and the effort we put into improving ourselves. When we combine awareness of Allah's signs with sincere action, the impact becomes profound. Every step towards self-improvement, every decision to seek forgiveness, to act kindly, to serve others, or to change a harmful habit, brings us closer to Allah's blessings and opens doors we never imagined. History and real life are filled with stories of individuals whose lives changed dramatically when they recognized signs and acted upon them. Consider someone struggling with personal challenges, constantly praying yet feeling stuck. One small realization, one moment of reflection, or one inspired decision can set a chain of blessings into motion. The person who decides to change their habits, strengthen their relationship with Allah, or prioritize acts of goodness often finds doors opening, opportunities presenting themselves, and guidance arriving at just the right moment. These stories are not exceptions, they are illustrations of Allah's mercy and wisdom in action. He rewards those who notice, act, and remain patient, often in ways far beyond their imagination. The subtle yet consistent presence of divine guidance reminds us that our lives are not random, but are carefully orchestrated for our ultimate good. The Quran reinforces this concept of hope and patience repeatedly. Allah reminds us, so truly where there is hardship, there is also ease. Surah Ash-Shah 94:6. Life may bring trials, delays, and difficulties, but these moments are never permanent. Every hardship is temporary, and every delay carries a hidden wisdom. Patience, combined with hope and sincere effort, is a powerful tool for transformation. Trusting Allah's timing, even when it feels inconvenient or slow, allows us to remain steadfast, open-hearted, and ready to receive the blessings that He has meticulously prepared. Faith is strengthened when we embrace uncertainty with trust, knowing that every moment is guided by a purpose greater than our understanding. Finally, surrendering to Allah's plan is the key to true peace and readiness for blessings. Surrender is not passive resignation, it is an active, conscious choice to trust that He knows what is best, even when the path is unseen. A heart aligned with divine will experiences serenity amid challenges, gratitude in trials, and hope in delays. When we surrender fully, we become aware of the opportunities, signs, and blessings that might otherwise go unnoticed. We prepare our hearts to embrace divine mercy, knowing that every sign, every challenge, and every answered prayer is part of a greater plan designed specifically for our benefit. Recognizing the signs Allah sends and understanding their significance in our daily lives is a crucial step in transforming not just our actions, but the very trajectory of our lives. Life is full of subtle hints, moments, and coincidences that often go unnoticed, yet they carry within them guidance and wisdom from the most merciful. Allah speaks to the hearts of His servants in ways that are gentle and profound, offering direction even in the midst of chaos, sorrow, or uncertainty. A sign may appear as a chance encounter with a person who changes our perspective, an unexpected obstacle that forces self-reflection, or a moment of clarity that illuminates the path we have been searching for. These signs are not random, they are carefully placed by Allah to guide us, to awaken our hearts, and to steer us toward what is beneficial in both this life and the hereafter. Recognizing them requires mindfulness, patience, and a sincere desire to connect with our Creator, as well as a willingness to see beyond the surface of daily occurrences. Often people are preoccupied with the noise of the world, work responsibilities, social obligations, and endless distractions, and fail to notice the subtle messages Allah places along their path. A gentle reminder in the Quran instructs us to reflect, to ponder the signs around us, and to seek understanding. Indeed, in the creation of the heavens and the earth, and the alternation of the night and day are signs for people of understanding. Surah Al-Imran 3:190. These signs are not limited to extraordinary events. They are present in the natural rhythms of life, the interactions we have, the emotions we feel, and the experiences that challenge us. The believer who is attuned to these signs develops a heightened awareness of divine presence, understanding that Allah's guidance is embedded in both the ordinary and extraordinary aspects of existence. By learning to observe, reflect, and interpret these signs with sincerity, one cultivates a spiritual sensitivity that opens the heart to divine wisdom. Recognizing Allah's signs is not merely a passive act of observation, it requires active engagement. When a person notices a sign, a moment of inspiration, a recurring message, or an intuitive nudge, they must respond with reflection and action. Ignoring or dismissing these signs can lead to stagnation, while acting upon them with faith and sincerity can lead to life-changing transformation. Consider the story of a person who is repeatedly drawn to a particular path of service, education, or personal development. At first it may seem coincidental, perhaps even inconvenient, yet as these signs persist, they point toward a path aligned with Allah's plan. Those who pay attention and follow the guidance often find that doors open, opportunities present themselves, and challenges align in a way that leads to success, peace, and fulfillment. The signs become markers along the journey, indicators of direction, and reassurance that Allah's plan is unfolding according to divine wisdom. Additionally, recognizing signs strengthens the believer's relationship with Allah. Every time one discerns a message or a subtle guidance and responds with gratitude, reflection, or action, the heart grows closer to the Creator. It fosters humility, as the believer acknowledges that they are not fully in control, and it cultivates trust, as they rely on Allah's infinite knowledge and wisdom. Awareness of signs encourages the heart to remain vigilant, attentive, and receptive to guidance, even when it comes in unexpected or unconventional forms. It is through this attentiveness that spiritual growth occurs, shaping character, perspective, and decision-making in a way that aligns with divine will. The practical effect of recognizing signs is profound. It transforms the ordinary into extraordinary, instills purpose in daily actions, and provides clarity during moments of confusion. The believer begins to understand that nothing in life is meaningless, that every interaction, challenge, or opportunity carries a lesson, and that Allah is continually communicating through the fabric of existence. By noticing and interpreting these signs with sincerity and mindfulness, the believer positions themselves to respond appropriately, make informed decisions, and align their life with a path of spiritual, moral, and personal growth, paving the way for blessings, guidance, and success that only Allah can bestow. The importance of self-reflection and acting upon the guidance provided by Allah's signs is a critical aspect of a believer's spiritual journey. Recognizing a sign is only the first step. The true transformation occurs when the heart internalizes its message and responds with intentional action. Life continuously offers lessons, but they often require a conscious effort to interpret, understand, and apply. Self-reflection allows the believer to examine their actions, intentions, and state of the heart in light of the sign they encounter. It is a deliberate pause in the midst of a busy life to evaluate whether their choices align with Allah's guidance, whether their efforts are sincere, and whether their path reflects the purpose for which they were created. Without this reflective practice, signs may pass unnoticed or ignored, and opportunities for growth and transformation may be missed. The Quran emphasizes the need for reflection and understanding, instructing believers to ponder over their lives and the world around them. Do they not reflect upon themselves? Allah created the heavens and the earth, and everything between them in truth, and for an appointed term. And yet many people deny they will meet their Lord. Surah Ar-Rum 38. This verse reminds us that reflection is not merely an intellectual exercise, but a spiritual necessity. By examining our intentions, decisions, and actions, we begin to discern whether we are responding appropriately to the guidance that Allah has provided. Self-reflection transforms ordinary awareness into conscious, meaningful action. It encourages humility, as the believer acknowledges areas of weakness, mistakes, or neglect, and it fosters accountability, motivating the individual to strive for alignment with divine guidance. This process is vital because true change requires more than recognition. It requires deliberate, intentional response. Acting upon guidance is equally essential. A sign, no matter how clear, achieves little unless it is translated into action. Consider the example of a person who repeatedly feels drawn toward helping others, perhaps through charity, volunteering, or simple acts of kindness. If this pull is ignored, the opportunity to embody embody the teachings of Islam and fulfill a meaningful purpose is lost. However, when the individual acts upon the guidance, even in small ways, it sets in motion a chain of positive outcomes, both spiritually and practically. Each action reinforces faith, strengthens character, and opens doors that may have seemed inaccessible before. In many instances, the timing of these actions coincides perfectly with Allah's plan, producing results that are far greater than anticipated, transforming lives, and inspiring further good. Self-reflection combined with action also cultivates resilience and clarity in decision-making. Life presents countless choices, some straightforward, others complex and challenging. By reflecting on past experiences, considering divine signs, and seeking guidance through prayer, the believer develops discernment, enabling them to make choices aligned with spiritual and ethical principles. This mindful approach prevents hasty decisions, reduces regrets, and ensures that actions are rooted in wisdom and awareness, rather than impulse or desire. Over time, the habit of reflective thinking and proactive response strengthens the heart, sharpens the mind, and nurtures the life, guided by faith and intention. Moreover, responding to signs with action strengthens the believer's relationship with Allah. Each act of obedience, each effort to align with divine guidance, and each instance of sincere intention reinforces the connection between servant and creator. This interaction creates a cycle of awareness, reflection, and action that continually nurtures spiritual growth. The believer begins to see life not as a series of random events, but as a carefully orchestrated journey, where each sign, challenge, and opportunity is a step toward higher understanding, personal growth, and closeness to Allah. Through this process, faith is strengthened, patience is cultivated, and hope is renewed, allowing the believer to navigate life's uncertainties with confidence and reliance on Allah's infinite wisdom and mercy. In essence, self-reflection and action transform passive awareness into active engagement. They bridge the gap between recognizing divine guidance and manifesting it in everyday life. By examining the heart, evaluating choices, and responding with sincere effort, the believer translates insight into meaningful change. Each step taken in alignment with Allah's signs brings spiritual growth, opens the door to blessings, and prepares the heart to embrace the guidance and mercy that Allah has planned. This process ensures that the recognition of signs becomes a catalyst for transformation, shaping character, guiding decisions, and nurturing a life deeply rooted in faith and purpose. Real-life examples of individuals whose lives were transformed through awareness and action offer powerful illustrations of how divine guidance works. When we recognize signs and respond with sincerity, life is full of moments that may seem ordinary, yet they carry the potential to redirect our path entirely, if we pay attention and act. Consider the story of a young woman struggling with self-doubt and indecision about her future. She faced multiple setbacks in her education and career, feeling lost and unsure of which path to pursue. One day, through a chance conversation with a mentor, she realized the significance of the skills she had been developing quietly over the years. That conversation, seemingly minor at the time, was a sign from Allah, guiding her toward her true calling. By acting upon this insight, she pursued a career that not only brought personal fulfillment, but also allowed her to positively impact countless lives. This example demonstrates that when believers are attentive to signs and take deliberate steps in response, doors open in ways they could never have orchestrated alone. Similarly, consider someone struggling with recurring personal or relational challenges. Perhaps they are facing repeated conflicts in family dynamics, or persistent obstacles in friendship or marriage. While the problems may seem insurmountable, subtle signs, like advice from a wise friend, moments of introspection, or recurring thoughts and feelings, often point toward the solutions Allah has prepared. A person who takes these signs seriously, who pauses to reflect, pray, and act accordingly, frequently finds that their relationships improve and their challenges diminish. These outcomes are rarely coincidental. They are the result of a combination of divine guidance, awareness, and decisive action. Those who ignore such signs often remain stuck, repeating cycles of difficulty, while those who embrace them experience a transformation that goes beyond surface-level changes, reshaping their character, perspective, and resilience. History and religious narratives are filled with similar lessons. Prophet Yunus, alayhi salam, for example, found himself in the belly of the whale, seemingly abandoned and hopeless. Yet in his moment of despair, he recognized his reliance on Allah and made sincere supplication. There is no deity except you, exalted are you. Indeed, I have been of the wrongdoers. Surah Al-Anbiya 21:87. His recognition of his circumstances, combined with sincere action in the form of heartfelt prayer, led to a life-altering transformation. Allah responded, freeing him and elevating his status. The principle remains clear: awareness, reflection, and action, grounded in sincere reliance on Allah, have the power to transform despair into relief and hardship into opportunity. Real-life examples mirror these divine lessons, showing that transformation is always possible when the heart is attentive, sincere, and willing to act. Even in contemporary life, ordinary people experience extraordinary change when they act upon guidance. A student struggling with academic setbacks may repeatedly notice opportunities to seek mentorship, study differently, or engage in new approaches. By responding to these subtle signs and making a conscious effort to change, they often achieve breakthroughs they previously thought impossible. Similarly, a person facing persistent financial difficulty might recognize patterns, advice, or unexpected opportunities as signs directing them toward better decisions, new ventures, or meaningful acts of charity that ultimately improve their circumstances. These transformations are rarely immediate but unfold gradually, as Allah's guidance aligns with the believer's attentiveness and action, demonstrating the interplay between divine wisdom and human effort. What all these examples reveal is a consistent truth. Allah communicates through signs, and lives change when these signs are recognized and acted upon. Awareness without action, it is incomplete. Action without awareness is misdirected. True transformation occurs when the believer cultivates sensitivity to divine guidance, reflects on its meaning, and courageously applies it to their life. This process strengthens faith, nurtures spiritual growth, and opens doors to blessings that are often more profound than imagined. By examining real-life examples and witnessing their outcomes, believers learn to trust in Allah's wisdom, act decisively upon guidance, and embrace the transformative power of awareness, combined with sincere action. Quranic reminders about hope, patience, and trusting Allah's timing provide a profound framework for navigating the complexities and uncertainties of life. The Quran repeatedly emphasizes that the believer's journey is filled with tests, challenges, and moments of waiting, yet these experiences are never without purpose. Patience, or sabr, is not merely a passive endurance of hardship. It is an active conscious commitment to maintain faith and reliance on Allah, despite the difficulties one faces. The Quran says, "And be patient, for indeed Allah does not allow to be lost the reward of those who do good." Surah Hud 11:115. This verse highlights that patience is intertwined with hope and action. When believers endure trials with perseverance, they are not merely surviving, they are cultivating spiritual resilience, preparing themselves for divine blessings, and demonstrating their unwavering trust in Allah's wisdom. Hope, or raja, is an equally essential aspect of faith emphasized throughout the Quran. Even in the face of overwhelming challenges, believers are encouraged not to despair of Allah's mercy. Allah says, "Do not despair of the mercy of Allah. Indeed, Allah forgives all sins." Surah Zumar 39:53. This verse reassures the heart that no matter the magnitude of difficulties, mercy, guidance, and relief remain within reach. Hope nurtures motivation, sustains effort, and inspires continuous reliance on Allah, especially when immediate outcomes seem absent. The believer who clings to hope understands that delays are not rejections, hardships are not punishments, and every experience carries an opportunity for growth and transformation. Hope allows the heart to remain receptive, resilient, and aligned with divine guidance, transforming waiting to a period of spiritual preparation. Trusting Allah's timing, or tawakkul, complements patience and hope, forming a complete triad of spiritual strength. Human beings often desire immediate results, wishing that life would unfold exactly according to their plans. Yet Allah's wisdom surpasses all human understanding. The Quran reminds us, "Perhaps you hate a thing and it is good for you, and perhaps you love a thing and it is bad for you, and Allah knows, while you know not." Surah Al-Baqarah 2:216. This verse emphasizes that our perception is limited, and trusting in Allah's timing is essential. What seems like a delay, a setback, or a hardship may be precisely what is needed to prepare the heart, refine character, or direct us toward a far greater outcome. Trusting the unseen path allows believers to navigate life with serenity, recognizing that every moment is part of a divine design orchestrated for their ultimate benefit. The Quran illustrates these principles through vivid narratives and examples of the prophets, whose lives were marked by patience, hope, and reliance on Allah. Prophet Ayyub alayhi salam endured immense suffering, losing wealth, health, and family. Yet he remained steadfast, praying and seeking Allah's mercy. His perseverance and trust led to a miraculous restoration of blessings and a legacy of patience for all believers to emulate. Similarly, Prophet Yusuf alayhi salam faced betrayal, imprisonment, and separation from family, but his unwavering faith and hope in Allah's plan guided him to eventual honor, leadership, and reunion. These examples highlight that trials are never meaningless, and that divine wisdom often operates in ways beyond immediate human comprehension.
For contemporary believers, the Quran's reminders serve as practical guidance for everyday life. Waiting for opportunities, enduring challenges, and navigating personal struggles become acts of faith when approached with patience, hope, and trust. Small setbacks, whether in career, relationships, or personal goals, are not signs of failure, but moments for reflection, reliance, and spiritual growth. By internalizing these Quranic teachings, believers learn to see life as a carefully guided journey, where perseverance and faith cultivate readiness for blessings, and where divine wisdom unfolds gradually, often in ways that exceed expectations. Through patience, hope, and trust in Allah's timing, believers align their hearts with the rhythm of divine guidance. Each challenge becomes a lesson, each delay a preparation, and each moment of reliance an opportunity to grow spiritually. The Quran's message is clear. Trials, waiting, and uncertainty are not obstacles to faith, they are tools for its strengthening. By embracing these principles, believers cultivate resilience, maintain hope in Allah's mercy, and navigate life with confidence that every sign, delay, and challenge is purposeful, preparing them to recognize and receive the blessings that Allah has destined. Surrendering fully to Allah's plan and preparing the heart for the blessings He has in store is the culmination of a believer's journey of faith, patience, and reflection. True surrender, or tawakkul, is not a passive acceptance of circumstances, but an active, conscious decision to trust in Allah's wisdom, timing, and infinite knowledge. Life often presents challenges, uncertainties, and moments of confusion, where human understanding reaches its limits. In these moments, the heart that surrenders recognizes that ultimate control rests with Allah, the most merciful and most wise, and that His plan encompasses far more than what the human mind can comprehend. Surrender requires humility, the acknowledgement that personal desires and immediate understanding are limited, and the willingness to align one's intentions and actions with divine guidance, even when the path forward is unclear. The process of surrender begins with acknowledging the limitations of human perception. People often become frustrated when events do not unfold according to their expectations, when prayers seem delayed, or when efforts appear fruitless. Yet surrender teaches the believer that Allah's timing is perfect, and that delays, obstacles, or hardships are often part of a larger design meant to protect, guide, or prepare them. The Quran emphasizes this principle through verses such as, "And it may be that you dislike a thing which is good for you, and that you love a thing which is bad for you. And Allah knows while you know not." Surah Al-Baqarah 2:216. Understanding this reality allows the heart to release anxiety, to trust in divine wisdom, and to embrace life's uncertainties with patience and hope, knowing that every circumstance is purposeful and ultimately beneficial. Surrendering also involves preparing the heart to receive blessings when they arrive. Often people fail to recognize the goodness Allah has prepared because they are unprepared spiritually, mentally, or emotionally. By surrendering fully, believers cultivate readiness, openness, and awareness. Their hearts become attuned to recognizing signs, opportunities, and guidance that might otherwise go unnoticed. This preparation involves maintaining sincerity in prayer, engaging in consistent acts of worship, seeking knowledge, practicing gratitude, and refining character. Each of these efforts strengthens the heart, making it capable of receiving divine mercy and blessings with clarity, humility, and appreciation. Real-life experiences underscore the transformative power of surrender. Consider a person who has faced prolonged hardship, whether in health, finances, or relationships. Despite sincere effort and repeated prayer, relief seems distant. By consciously surrendering to Allah's plan, trusting that He knows what is best, and continuing to act responsibly, while maintaining hope, the individual becomes spiritually and emotionally ready for the change when it comes. Often, blessings arrive unexpectedly, in ways far more beneficial than initially imagined. The timing, nature, and magnitude of these blessings reflect Allah's infinite wisdom, demonstrating that surrender is not weakness, but a source of strength and clarity that aligns human effort with divine support. Surrender also fosters inner peace and contentment. When the heart rests in the knowledge that Allah's plan is perfect, it is liberated from excessive worry, frustration, and despair. Challenges are met with resilience, setbacks with patience, and achievements with gratitude. This state of trust encourages proactive engagement with life, as the believer continues to strive, plan, and make decisions, but without the burden of fear or attachment to immediate outcomes. Every action is balanced by reliance on Allah, creating a harmonious blend of effort and faith that maximizes spiritual growth and prepares the believer to embrace opportunities as they arise. Furthermore, surrender cultivates perspective and gratitude. By accepting that every situation, every delay, and every challenge is part of a divine design, the believer develops an ability to see beyond immediate discomfort and to appreciate lessons and blessings embedded in all experiences. This perspective nurtures contentment, patience, and hope, and it strengthens resilience in the face of future trials. A heart that surrenders fully understands that nothing is wasted, every effort has value, and Allah's wisdom is perfect. Preparing for His blessings becomes not merely an act of anticipation, but a spiritual practice, where faith, patience, gratitude, and awareness converge, creating readiness to receive the abundance, mercy and guidance that Allah has decreed for each believer at the perfect time.